All right. Hello, everyone. I think we are live. All right. Give me just 1 second to get set up. How's everyone doing today? Good to be here with you all. All right. All right. You can all see me. Well, welcome. Thank you all so much for being here. We have so much going on in the world. I come on and do a solo show, political current event questions. I was thinking that I talked to Mel last week, and he must not have been thinking with this trip. He actually I think left yesterday for Iceland. Um, so we won't be going live tonight, but hopefully he's feeling up to it next week. I think he gets home next Wednesday. So Mel should be on the channel next week. All right. I had to Ness. I will be doing a pre-recorded video with Ness tomorrow. So we'll look into the October energies, her astrological view of it, and my intuitive. So I'm looking forward to that. We had to push it back a little bit into October now, but all right. So that video will be out tomorrow. For my members, we just did our members live earlier this week for many personal readings. Our next members live show will be October 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be doing our Reiki healing and our prayer circle to follow. I always look forward to that. If you're interested in becoming a member, I have the link in the description box of this video. We get together twice a month for some hangout time, answering your questions, doing some Reiki. All right, and let's see what else. What else is going on? I did just sell out of my Holy Fire Level 1 and 2 class. That was later on this month and in November. Since I am full, if anybody was interested in the class, if you want, you can send me an email and I can put you on a wait list. If not, I do have another class for level 1 and 2 in January, so the 10th and 31st, and that's set up on the website. So you can enroll in that. I think I don't have anybody in that class as of right now. I am also doing my first teaching the master level of Holy Fire Reiki, November 28th, 29th, and 30th. Just to, be prepared for the class, you do have to be a level 2 Reiki practitioner for at least 6 months. You can be an Asui Reiki, any lineage, but just a level 2 or higher for 6 months and have the level 2 symbols memorized. I only have one person signed up for the class. It is the weekend of Thanksgiving. So if anybody's interested, but that weekend doesn't work good for you, send me an email. Because if I don't get any more students, I probably will reschedule it. And I can reach out to you then. Or if you have any questions on the course, or you're unsure of your readiness for it, send me an email. I'm happy to help. kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com. And then lastly, before we get started, I do have some openings, quite a bit of openings for October for readings and Reiki sessions. I actually think I have an appointment or two next week. So if you're interested, like a reading or a Reiki, or I do a combination of both, go to my website, kevinlovingvibrations.com, and you can get that scheduled on there. All right. And of course, as always, please hit that thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me see. Got lots of questions. Go ahead and write them in the chat, all caps. And I just want to say thank you real quick. Christina Baker became a member, and I saw somebody else become a member. Terry Mullins, welcome. I look forward to having you hopefully you're able to join us for the Reiki Live. I think 13th. I typically do the members lives on Monday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern. All right. Well, a bunch of you already here. I know Linda was live, so. And thank you all for being here. Let's get some questions started. I have a couple questions I want to look at. Obviously, we'll look at the shutdown. I got a couple hits I want to throw some cards on. A bunch of questions were sent in on a post I did yesterday, and I see a lot of questions coming in the chat. So, oh, interesting. I'll share my intuitive hit. Lawrence, it's kind of similar to yours. He just puts a comment that saw 45 for a moment on TV, got the immediate impression that he knows he's finished in office and physically. Yeah, I was kind of getting the same feeling. I saw, well, we have the shutdown, and there was a press conference, and JD Vance was talking there, and I was kind of getting that intuitive impression too. Like, is he going to try to oust Trump with the 25th Amendment? Or do they know he's finished? That was just kind of the vibe I got from JD Vance. So I'm feeling that way too, Lawrence. All right, excuse me. Lots of good questions here. And lots of ones I wanted to look at, so. All right, you guys. So let me pull up my questions real quick. Where are we at? We got almost 400 people watching me. We're going to look at the shutdown and do a bit of a deep dive into that. How long does the healthcare subsidies get negotiated in? Which side folds? That kind of thing. We'll look at that. I wasn't necessarily picking up a shutdown, but I said last week if there was a shutdown, I didn't see it being for very long. I was getting cards of negotiations and back and forth. But as we all know too, energy's changed, so we'll take a look at that. I kind of, just for something fun while people are still getting here, I was seeing, I saw somebody post a video saying that they were, threatening to expose MAGA Mike Johnson with Grindr messages and having a bunch of information on him, being gay, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only. Although I've always said I get creepy vibes from him. So that would not surprise me. But let's just see. Is this person with information going to come out? Are they going to out Mike Johnson? Let's just start off with that. We'll do a question on the shutdown and look into that next. All right. Supposedly, though, he was going to release the information yesterday, and I had not heard of that information being released. So was it just, a false threat? He said if the government shut down and if he was going to continue to hold up that new House member and not swear her in, he was releasing it. All right. Is that gentleman going to release any information on Mike Johnson? I've often said I did feel like a sex scandal and money corruption scandals coming up for Mike Johnson. There's some anxiety here. Oh, interesting. I do see it being held up a little bit. Because my final outcome card, I have the Six of Pentacles, which is like the quid pro quo. You do this for me, I'll do this for you. With the secrets, but then not backing down from releasing them. I get that Mike Johnson's a little scared about this. Nine of Swords. He's losing some sleep here. Very nervous. I think nervous for his you know, that something like that he would lose his power, lose a job. And there is communications and records here. All right. I feel like Johnson's a bit desperate to make some kind of deal with this person. Feeling a bit trapped. You know, he's stuck there. Feeling at the crossroads. I feel like this guy that's threatening it is not backing down, though. He's got the goods. Let's see. They're going to try to divert our attention. Don't look over here. You know, everything's a bit of a distraction nowadays. Oh, I get something coming out. Judgment. There's an announcement about this. And I kind of feel like we'll all be celebrating. Interesting. I don't feel like it's going to happen like tomorrow. Like I said, it feels like there's a little bit of time, but I do feel like there's more stuff coming out about MAGA Mike. Yeah. It's crazy times we're in. And I feel like the Republican Party, with everything going on, between the Epstein stuff, coming out about Trump, I just kind of feel like the whole party's in a bit of chaos. Everybody turning on everyone. So I would not be surprised if Johnson's out of the speakership in the relative short future, you know, not tomorrow, but next few months. It's going to be a crazy rest of the year, and I even feel quite a bit of crazy energy the first quarter of next year. All right. Yeah, I always felt like there was a bit of a scandal coming up with him. I get you know, creepy pedo vibes with him. But then something financial coming out too. I don't see Trump getting the Nobel Peace Prize, Portia. It's announced on the 10th. And if he were to win, I mean, I think that the Nobel Peace Prize in my book would lose any credibility. But no, I'm not picking that up. He wants it. He's desperate for it, as we all know. But oh, interesting. People are saying he gave the info to the media per his lawyer. Media's vetting it. His life was supposedly threatened and he's in hiding. Yeah, that does not surprise me. Well, and we had that Nine of Swords too, which is, you know, being a bit freaked out. But him and Johnson could both be, you know, a bit freaked out of that information leaking. Interesting. Some people are saying they have computer buffering issues. Anybody else having issues? My internet should be pretty good. I would say it might be YouTube, or if it's your internet, try leaving the room and coming back in. Grace says no issues. All right. All right, so we're going to take a look at the shutdown. We've got a good amount of people in here now. So I'm not picking up a long shutdown. It might be a week or two. But let's just throw some cards, see what the energy looks like for that. I'll ask the pendulum for timing. As you know, timing's not the easiest to predict. Clarence says he keeps getting booted. It might be YouTube. Somebody said they were watching another live. And they were having issues. All right. All right. What's the current energy around this shutdown? Remember when I read on it last week? You know, I was picking up like Schumer kind of dropping the ball again. So I'm hoping that he doesn't drop the ball to get us out of the shutdown. I don't think that we'll get out of the shutdown the rest of this week because I don't believe the House is even in session unless Democrats agree to the spending bill. And I think Thune was saying too, like, well, we can talk about the healthcare subsidies afterwards. Yeah, because they're trustworthy. You know, they weren't even negotiating this budget. Do we think that honestly we can just take their word for it? All right. It's the energy around this shutdown. It's a death card. And I get the walking away card, the resignation card again. This is interesting. I had the death card and the Hierophant, which to me would be like there's changes happening in the leadership and or even like in the government. And it brings in some healing here. Hopefully this is about Trump. And then the Eight of Cups came out again, just representing the situation, walking away. I could be walking away from the deal too. Crossed by strength. All right, there's some movement here. I get an agreement here. And I'm seeing the number 2 with it. So it could be, I don't think it's 2 days, but like 2 weeks. I don't think it's 2 months. The thing is that, you know, with the CR, they're going to have to, it only just delays it. So we're going to come back into the same issue in a few weeks. Interesting. King of Wands is coming through with this Eight of Cups and going into the Hermit. So there could be a male leader that ends up walking away, kind of wanting a bit of solitude. I was picking up that before. But I do feel like it's going to be quick. It's going to be resolved quickly. The Chariot with the Two of Cups, which is agreements, bipartisanship. Yeah, and I get the Eight of Wands too, which is quick moving. I think that there's a lot of fear of Donald Trump having all this power, his threats to fire a bunch of people, and it's going to be very burdensome for a lot of people. So like they want to get through this quickly. Emperor. Yeah, I'm not feeling a long shutdown, but I do feel like there's going to be major changes. Maybe somebody resigning. To me, it feels like a male. But they're going to be pushed to make an agreement here soon. And I also want to look at the economy and stock market too, because I'm almost wondering if that may be some of the motivation here too to get something done, because there's fear of. I see it going down. I'm not seeing a crash this month for the economy stock market. I think it's at an all-time high right now. But I do see it starting to go down. I'm with you, Anna. Yeah, I'm hoping the Democrats don't give up. You know, it might not be a popular opinion, but I really, even though you know, we want the Republican Party to make some changes, I'm all for the Democrats to shift up some of their leadership too. get some new blood that's good at communicating and having a message, having a spine, you know, meeting the moment with fire. Oh, interesting. More solar storms. All right. We're going to take a look and see if Democrats will be successful saving healthcare regarding the shutdown. We're going to take a look at that. All right. And actually, you know, before I do this, I'm just going to ask the pendulum to see like timing with how long the government's going to stay shut down. I feel like it will reopen in October. It might be about 2 weeks. All right. Show me yes. Show me no. Will the U.S. government reopen in the month of October 2025? Getting a yes. Will the U.S. government reopen by the middle of October 2025? Yeah, I'm feeling around the middle. Like next 10 to 14 days. Something like that. Doesn't feel like it's a very long shutdown. I think our last one was it over 30 days? It was over a month. And Corey says, does your Reiki class give certification? Yes, I do certificates for the level 1 and 2, all my classes. Yes, Corey. All right, so let's take a look. Will the Democrats be successful in saving healthcare regarding this shutdown? Yeah, 34, 35 days for the last shutdown. I swear I get the same questions every time. I do see Donald Trump being removed from office. I've said that many times. I feel like every show, I don't see him finishing out his term. I feel like he'll definitely be out of there before midterms. I feel like he could be out before the end of this year. Yeah, Democrats need to be strong. Yes, I do see some federal workers losing their jobs, Mimi. I feel like there's going to be a lot of lawsuits and a lot of these workers getting rehired, but I do see some of them losing their job. Democrats be successful in saving healthcare. I think that there's even some Republicans that are afraid of these subsidies, losing these I can't speak today. Subsidies and insurance prices skyrocketing. I see a strong female coming to the surface. And this is something Democrats aren't going to give up on. They're going to continue to fight. I wonder if this is like AOC. They're going to be arguing over this, kind of stuck. But there is movement and progress going forward. I get that there's a lot of back and forth. Obviously, Republicans aren't to be trusted with this, and Democrats don't trust them. there's a bit of negotiation and juggling funds, but then I do see like the Empress, which is abundance, and then success here too. So I do feel like they're going to be able to save, be successful in putting those subsidies back in. But a strong female really coming to the surface and leading the fight here. All right. When do those credits or subsidies, when are they gone? Is it the end of this year? Let's take a look. I believe in November. Okay. Rose blue. Yes, I do see the military leaders upholding the Constitution. Trump just looked, I mean, I swear every time I see him, he looks worse and worse. His speech in front of the generals, what an embarrassment. Like I said the week before, I feel like it was a threat to kiss the ring, to pledge fealty to the king. These men aren't going to do that. I do feel like there may be some military leaders that retire, step down, but I do feel like some of them still continuing to fight against the regime. Excuse me. All right. Carrie wants to know, 45 be impeached for treason in 2025. I'm just going to throw a couple cards. I don't see how impeachment will be possible with Republicans in the House and Senate. I was feeling more maybe the 25th Amendment, but let's just throw a couple cards. Will he be impeached? Or will they remove him? That's interesting. I'm not feeling impeachment with these cards, but I have the Nine of Pentacles here, which is abundant, sitting pretty. And I was picking up too that there's going to be a major, probably with his Bitcoin and him, receiving planes and doing a lot of backhand deals. But there's a financial corruption thing about to be exposed. I do get the Death card, which could be physical death. I'm feeling like the health is really a challenge for Trump, but it can also be some changes happening. Not necessarily getting impeachment with these cards, though. Like I said, I was kind of getting the vibe that J.D. Vance is working behind the scenes, talking to the cabinet people, his cabinet, saying about him being removed. Let's just ask, will they use the 25th Amendment to remove Trump? In 2025. Will the administration use the 25th Amendment to remove Trump in 2025? We have secrets. King of Rods. The Magician. Somebody's trying to make this happen. Star, yes. Action being taken against him. Ace of Wands. Some are feeling stuck with this, though. See, the cards are coming through more strongly, like they would use the 25th Amendment to remove them. Because I do feel like there's a new beginning here with the Wheel of Fortune. Some of them feeling a bit stuck, not quite ready to make that move just yet, though. Interesting. I love that. Raymond says 86, 47. If you add those all up, the numerology is 25, 25th Amendment. Interesting. I mean, I think we all don't care how he's removed as long as he's removed. Like I said, the health could do it too. I'm just going to ask, will Trump be removed as president before the end of this year? Let's take a look at that. The Magician. Somebody's successful here. That's a yes. Feeling tired and fatigued with this 9 of Wands. That could be like him just feeling very weak by the end of the year, but trying to push through. But there's some loss here. I've often said, too, I feel like Trump may do something way too far where even Republicans can't defend him. You know, the bully and the tyrant here. The happy family, the support here, crossed by female truth teller. Ooh, the Towers. Definitely, we're going to continue to see the scandals. Something's imploding, though. The Tower would be like a fall from grace. The Devil here. It's a fall from grace because of the bad deeds. And it feels like it's bigger than just Trump. This feels like it's a group being exposed by this Queen of Swords. I know he wants to send all of these, the military to all these democratic cities and use the military against the people. I feel like if he did something like that, I feel like that's something even Republicans couldn't stand for. Big news coming out, the whistleblower, something with like looking over the world here. There's plans to remove him. Group work, females taking him down. How many times have we seen that? It's going to come in quickly too. I mean, I'm not getting the Death card or 8 of Cups or transition. If it's not by the end of this year, he's just barely hanging in there. But like I said, there's a big fall from grace. The party falling. The structure of their party crumbling. All right. So we'll see. I feel like with these cards, he could absolutely be gone by 2025. I'll ask the pendulum. All right. Yeah, I agree. JD Vance is a snake. Absolutely. You know, the thing, though, is if I don't personally see Vance as president, but, you know, according to the Constitution, he would be the next in line. But the thing is when Trump goes, the whole MAGA movement, the Republican Party, it's going to crumble. It's going to fall. And I'm sorry, JD Vance doesn't instill the fear from the base that Trump does. So I don't really even see him being very effective at being able to govern or lead. Will Donald Trump be removed from the presidency in 2025? Show me the truth. I'm saying yes. Started off as a maybe. Now it's into a yes. I would say if it's not by the end of 2025, early 2026, but yes, there's energy there for sure. I often said too, I didn't even feel like he would even finish out this year, so we'll see. We're almost at the end of the year. Yeah, that's very true, Terry. And I've been feeling the Epstein stuff definitely coming out. I was feeling more so from an adversary overseas. My feeling was maybe the country starts with an R, but yes, it would be huge and global. Yeah. But I'm okay with stuff coming out of the Congress too. Other people are feeling end of the year too. Yeah, he can't go on for much longer. I know it feels like it's been forever. I'll say for myself though, I feel like this year's went by so quickly. All right, we'll take a look at Adalita Grijalva. I think that's how you pronounce it. What did I say last week? Mike Johnson was desperate not to swear her in and would come up with excuses so that they can't do the discharge petition for the Epstein files to be released. And he sent them all home this week. Also, I'll say not a very good look, not having Congress in session when the government shuts down, but yeah, I agree, Anna. This year's flying by. I do see her getting sworn in. Adalita Grijalva. She gets sworn in soon. The Six of Wands. This is a recognition. This is a big yes. They're trying to move away from this, trying to retreat, keep them hiding so they can't vote on it. But they're crossed with her success, her being in. They're trying to stall this for as long as possible. She's coming and she's got the security, the pinnacle here. Yes, I see her getting sworn in soon. Again, that feels like it would be within the next week or two. They're going to try to continue to stall it, though, but they're not going to be able to. Sassy Frost says we need to stop their pay with the government shutdown. I agree. They shouldn't be getting paid if the government shut down. But as we all know, too, politicians are corrupt, so they don't even need the money that they would receive from the shutdown. They have plenty of trading stocks, and I mean, all of these politicians get into office with no net worth, and they leave millionaires. You know, so it really isn't going to change things, even if you stop the pay. I think that's a big thing. We're not going to see a lot of major change until we can get money out of politics. Everybody's bought and paid for. They're not working for us. They're working for their wealthy donors. They return on the 7th. Okay, so I think that's next week. Oh, absolutely. Cookie says it's the reason for the shutdown to keep the Epstein files hidden. Everything, all the chaos that we're going through right now, it's all a big distraction. Are we talking about the Epstein list? Is the news talking about Epstein? No, they're talking about the shutdown or him making a fool um, in front of all those generals. You know, it's all just a big grift and distraction. All right, there was another question I wanted to look at here. And Mimi also asked, will the No King's Day protest be larger than expected due to the shutdown? Absolutely. How long have I been saying it? I feel like there's huge protests. The thing is it's not going to, the shutdown, his base doesn't care. They just want change in the government. They think it's fine that they're firing people and, um, you know, cutting programs and all of that. They're fine with it. It's the rest of us. This is going to get people out, to protest, to vote, get them motivated to stand up against Trump and be part of the resistant movement. But let's take a look at the protests. I actually had that on my list. Thank you so much for the super sticker, Aries. Really very much appreciate it. You'll also know too, I've been saying with these protests, with these peaceful protests, that Donald Trump was going to try to squash it, try to intimidate us. Maybe try to declare martial law or send the military in, or sending in agitators. So I've always said, I don't get the best vibes with the protests in that instance, where there may be, some violence. So if you're going to protest, please use your intuition. Be very aware of your surroundings. If something doesn't feel quite right, get out of that space, move to someplace else. All right, let's take a look at the No Kings protest. Is it the 18th, October 18th? I know the last few that they've had were on the weekdays, which I thought were a bit stupid, to be honest with you, just my opinion. But I believe this one's on a Saturday. So that I think already will help get people out. Yes, it's going to be a massive success. People coming together, I think on both sides of the aisles. There's a lot of Republicans that don't identify as being MAGA. People coming out, making agreements, showing their strength against the regime. But there is something to be aware of. The Thief and the Knight, Seven of Swords here crossing it. And the Five of Wands, which is kind of tug of war. There's opposition here. Interesting, justice. People standing up for the truth, for justice to be had, for the rule of law. Could be something from these protests too that would lead to legal cases. Yeah, it's a bit of a turning point. People have had it. But be mindful, the Ten of Swords here too can indicate violence. Abuse of power. Somebody trying to abuse power. All right. So keep that in mind, but I do feel like huge turnout and huge success with these protests. I feel a lot of people coming out from both sides of the aisle. Okay. Welcome, Tina. You said your first live. Love it. All right. We've been on for about 45 minutes, so I might just do another question or two. I like to try to end on a positive note, ask Spirit what guidance they have for us. Yeah, I agree, Terry. The Epstein files will continue to rise to the surface. They can try to distract us from it, but they're coming out. And I even felt, I don't feel like we'll probably know everybody, all of the major players behind the scenes. But I do see a lot of big figures being wrapped up in it, Trump being included. But I even feel more of like the financial aspect of the whole scheme and Trump's connection financially to Epstein being released. Because I felt like a major financial corruption scandal coming to the surface in regards to the Epstein stuff, and I think some of the crypto stuff as well. I already read on that, Patricia. I do see 45. The pendulum was saying yes by the end of this year. If not the end of this year, early next year, but around that time. Okay. Let me look at my notes because there were some things I wanted to look at. I want to take a look at the economy for the month of October. Economy, stock market. I've said I didn't feel a huge crash. Did feel like it was more of a mild recession. You know, obviously the inflation prices going up. We've been seeing that. People losing their jobs, so unemployment rate going up. But as of right now, the stock market, I think, is at an all-time high. But I was feeling something kind of making it trend downwardly, like end of September, October. How long will the shutdown last, Lisa? I read on that already. I felt like it would be quick. I'm feeling like within 2 weeks, middle of October. All right, what's the economy in the U.S. look like in October? Ooh, some changes here. The death card. Don't love seeing that. We have some adjusting here. Like I said, it feels like it's going lower. Juggling resources. Do you feel like there's going to continue to be some people that lose their jobs? We already know that Trump's going to be getting rid of people, but it's kind of tempering. I think it's more adjusting because it's been overinflated with the stock market, with the temperance card coming in. So it's shifting. It's trying to come to balance. People are tired. We're feeling like we're at a crossroads. Hangman, there's a delay. There's a big focus overseas, and I've been talking about that recently too. I'm feeling more with like the Ukraine-Russia war, but this could be with the trade deal, the trade war he's got going on too. That being the major factor in the economy. Yeah, I feel like it rebounds though. People are fighting back. I'm not feeling catastrophic, but there is definitely some adjusting. Like I said, it feels like it's going downwards. People struggling, some job loss here. We're losing our trade partners, all of that. But I get, it's going to piss people off. They're going to stand up. They're going to fight back, take action. 6 of Wands is the final outcome. It should be like celebration. It doesn't feel like it's catastrophic here. All right. I want everybody just to really take good care of themselves during these times. I know that we're all stressed out. Everybody's scared and anxious, but just do your best not to give up hope. Keep your vibrations up. Ground, breathe. Be present in the moment. Focus in on your own empowerment, things that you are in control of. As the energies for the rest of the year do feel very heavy. All right. Yes, be brave. Absolutely. Kareem says, can I read on the 2026 governor race in Florida? Jolly versus Daniels. I wasn't feeling good about Jolly, I'm sorry to say. Florida still feels like it's, I've talked about a couple of states that haven't had the fairest elections. Florida's probably the top. All right, I'll throw a card for Jolly and for Byron Daniels. Not a good card for Jolly. Loss, grief. Now remember, energies can change, and we're still quite a while away from this. I don't even think they've had their primary yet, so I think a lot could change. So we'll definitely be looking at a lot of the midterm races as we get closer. But as much as I don't like Byron Daniels, I definitely feel better about him than Jolly, just intuitively. Yeah, and a bit of a hard fight for Byron Daniels, but being victorious. Florida still feels like it's not quite as red, but it still leans a bit red. I'm feeling like till like the 2028, 2032. That may be when it's more purple. Okay. Thank you so much for the super sticker, Starfish Believer. Appreciate that. All right. Somebody else asked me, well, throw one more election race. Like I said, we got some time to look at these races more clearly. And I do see Democrats doing well in retaking the House. I'm feeling more optimistic about the Senate with some of the candidates. Somebody wanted me to take a look at Jon Ossoff in Georgia and what his reelection looked like. I'll say I wasn't feeling the best about Ossoff until Trump got back in. I was feeling the governor may run for that race, and he has said that he's not. So I'm feeling more optimistic for Ossoff. I don't remember what the Republican governor in Georgia, his name was, but he said he's not running. I see the Virginia and New Jersey races going blue, Virginia. All right, John Kemp. Yeah, Kemp's not running. All right, Jon Ossoff. So you're going to win re-election in 2026. The star. He brings hope, inspiration. People love him, making deals with him. This is like the voters' pick. They see him as the more optimistic candidate. The magician and the sun. The biggest yes. Yes, I would say yes. And all three major arcana here too. Yes, I'm feeling good with these. These are like, you can't get better with this. The sun, magician, star. Yeah, it looks good for Ossoff. Oh, I love it. Virginia sees tons of Span burger signs wherever she's at. Yeah, I feel her doing. She'll be a good governor. And I see the House and the Senate races going good for Democrats too. Feels like it's better in Virginia than New Jersey, but I do feel Democrats winning in New Jersey as well. Getting a lot of repeater questions. I touched on most of this major stuff going on, you guys. So if you're coming in late, you can rewatch it after it posts. All right. I think we're going to end by just asking Spirit for any guidance, any words of wisdom to help us manage these turbulent times we're in. Mel should be on the channel next week. I have a lot going on next week. I'm going to try my best to do a solo show. I'll do a show at least once, whether it's just with Mel or if I can't get with him, we'll do a solo show. But I'm recording October forecast with Ness tomorrow, so that will be up. All right, what do we need to know, Spirit? Let go of fear. I think, like, be present. Sometimes we have such high expectations too. Just really go with the flow. Let go of anything that's holding you back or anything that's taking your power. Yeah, the message is take back your power and thrive. Let's all just be and take back your light. Stop trying so hard and breathe. Letting go does not mean jumping blindly into faith, but to release the resistance you hold about a subject so your dreams and desires can be realized. We have all hung on to a person, place, job, or idea because we think it will give us what we seek. But hanging on is a result of unbalanced thinking. This imbalance has you needing compensation. You create a deficit by compromising yourself, thinking that was the way towards your dreams. It was your choice to do that. Now it's your choice to let go and create from love instead of fear. You deserve to have what you want without compromising your truth. You cannot change what has occurred. However, you can change what you do from this moment on. No one has been placed upon this earth to make you happy, just as it's not your responsibility to make anybody else happy. Free yourself and everyone else of the idea that we must please others to be loved. You are love and you are loved no matter what happens in yours or another's life. I love that. Yeah, stand in your power, speak your truth. Don't allow somebody else to take away your joy, take away your love. You know, it's not the time to give up. We can't do anything to change the past, but we can, be present in this moment and shift our future. All right. I think that's a really beautiful message and really resonates with the message I've been getting, from Spirit. Just to keep the faith, keep your vibrations as high as you can get them. Take it easy, take a step back. Don't allow this energy that we're in to be all consuming for you. Like I said, it's a wonderful time to focus in on things that bring you love and joy, your own personal, spiritual development. I've been focusing in on the Reiki classes. That's a good distraction for me, but then also it's fulfilling to help others to raise their vibrations and help ground their energy. It'd be a wonderful tool to kind of manage in these times. Oh, interesting. Time to shift the blame. Accept others for who they are. We can't do anything to control others' actions. We're not responsible for that. All we're really responsible is our actions, our thoughts, our beliefs. All right, let's get a crystal card. Thank you all for being here. The ones that are leaving. Sending you a lot of love. Ooh. Clear quartz. I love clear quartz. Actually got a big clear quartz sphere here. Pulled a crystal for us. It's an energy changer. It's very good at amplifying the energy too. I love using quartz with other crystals. And the great thing about quartz too is that you can program it for whatever intention you have. Clear quartz is the most versatile of all crystals. Works with all healing, directs subtle energies to bring physical change, cuts or eliminates illness from the body. It energizes and raises and can even lower energy as needed. opens up all the chakras and central energy cords for healing. And I have a beautiful, just got this talisman. It's got beautiful clear quartz here. It brings optimism, hope, insight, clear thinking, joy, inner peace, and a sense of self-sufficiency. Helps to expand consciousness, brings knowledge of one's true self beyond the physical body, and increases psychic abilities. Message is, I'm free. Yeah, I love quartz for just kind of elevating my own energy, kind of enhancing it and amplifying it. And I think it's really good too to kind of just bring in that peace of mind, just to get really clear of whatever intuitive information you get. We'll do one more card, you guys. Yes, innocent potato system. I'm a Reiki 1 practitioner. Right now is a good time to do some self-care practices. Absolutely. You know, I'll just say too, even though the energy is really heavy right now, I think a lot of us are feeling like we're just on the horizon of change. We're feeling tired of kind of being in this state. But maybe if you can just kind of take a step back, you know, just kind of breathe and be present, really tap into the energy that you're feeling now, because I'm feeling a lot of shifting going on collectively right now. Even though it's hard, we can't have change without things having to crumble. All right. If everything stayed the same, if everything was comfortable, we wouldn't learn, we wouldn't grow. So just know that we are, you know, right on the horizons of some changes going on. Yeah, connect to that internal love, the happiness. Everything's going to be okay. But let go of attachments, fear. You have a hidden gift. So we're feeling sad, but it's bringing in endings. And at the end of the day, it will be a blessing. All right? So hang in there, everybody. Yeah, I love selenite for clearing too. Absolutely. I love to take my selenite wand and charge it with Reiki and do a good aura cleanse with it. All right, you guys. Well, thank you all so much for being here. I'll be on I'll be on tomorrow with a pre-recorded show with Ness. I'll be on next week at some point, probably later in the week. Again, I have openings for readings, Reiki sessions for October. Actually, quite a bit of openings. So if you're interested in that, go to my website, kevinlovingvibrations.com. Schedule a session. I'd love to meet you. And yeah, I have a couple classes coming up. That's all on the website as well. All right. Sending you all a lot of blessings, a lot of love. Hang in there. We'll get through this. I'll see you all soon. All right. Bye, everyone.